everyone, and welcome to the SwiftCase Productivity Podcast. My name is Adam Sykes, founder of SwiftCase, the professional productivity platform. And today I've got with me
Phil would be developer at SwiftCase.
Alkis and development manager at SwiftCase.
Okay, so today we were going to talk about the way that recently, after Brexit, after the initial phase of Brexit,
which hasn't finished yet,
the Home Secretary has announced a points-based immigration system, which means that now if businesses want to employ people from outside of the UK, not just from the EU, but from everywhere, because obviously it's a global system, that will have to get certain points. It's been billed as like an Australian-style points-based system. I think the only similarity is that they use points that are assigned to various characteristics. I don't think the Australians have got much of a copyright over the way that it works. But the idea is there are certain criteria that you have to fulfill, and then there are other criteria that are that give you points that add up to the total. Right. I think you've got to get 70 in order to be able to come for a job. One of the most controversial ones probably is that you've now got to speak English.
Right.
That's
mandatory that you've got to speak English.
To what particular level, or like an examined level? Or?
I'm not too sure, and it wasn't very clear as usual. Things a bit vague.
They were just pushing it out to see what
I think that's more of a dog whistle than anything that's actually practically useful for businesses that are potentially global businesses that might have to deal with customers all around the world and might want language skills of other areas. But anyway, that one was a mandatory one. You've got to have a job that you're coming to, which seems pretty set. That one seems pretty sensible, and I think was the same under the EU rules that you had to have a job that you were coming to.
So you can start your own business if you're from abroad?
I'm not sure. I think you can. They're probably still. Well, I'm not sure on that one because I'm sure they're not putting them off any entrepreneurs coming in to start their own business if they've got some money to invest. Certainly, you had to have a business job that you were coming to. It wasn't clear on whether that was your own job that you said you had money to finance. And then the other one is you had to have a salary threshold. Now this was the interesting one because the salary threshold was at 26,500, which is or something around that figure. And the interesting part was that they were billing it not as low pay, but low skill. And there's this argument that's been going on as to whether you can use a salary point to say that it's low skill or not, because salary is derived from the demand for the job, not necessarily the skill that's required in the job. It's not because you're the most skilled person that you are ultimately paid a certain salary. It's the market that decides that. It's a supply and demand for them. So,
but then that's interesting as well, because that's in a way a dog whistle, because the idea that somebody who has a massive bonus, in finance or has a huge wage, has somehow earned that over and above a nurse who may earn like 18,000. And I remember when I was in London, so when I lived in London, right, my wife earned 18,000 in working for a large recording studio, the stroke label, which I won't mention, and she was doing 2 jobs, and they were very reluctant to give her a pay rise in line with other people doing like half the job effectively. But the 2 jobs that she did, one was the jobs that other people did around her, which was like A&R, and the other was supporting the director. Now, I think they didn't want to give her a pay rise because they saw fundamentally supporting the director, being PA, as being less skilled than the other job aspect. Now, when she tells me about what she had to do to support him, you can see, very skilled, highly skilled. You're managing a difficult person, right? And a lot of care, and it's effectively like care work for him as well, because he would like fall asleep, miss a plane, his first class ticket, right? Because he was drunk, and she'd have to go and order and $3,000 on a new ticket. Manage his phone because he lost his phone. But basically she was like putting out fires. She was like Michael Clayton from that film. But because it was ostensibly a female-led care role, they devalued it. And I think it's the same with the medical profession, with nurses, care workers. all underpaid, all care related.
Yeah.
But still very highly skilled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so nurses was one of the classic
exactly.
ones, wasn't it? But care work specifically has come under fire because obviously we've got a big age discrepancy in the UK where we've got a lot of older people and we didn't necessarily have the birth rate that's kept up enough people to fulfill the caring roles. So that was one of the reasons why we were quite happy to have people come in and fulfill these roles. And also the argument that British people don't want to do certain roles. They don't. You can't get British people to go and pick fruit.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
bringing a busload of Eastern European people are happy to
solves that issue. That means we can get our fruit picked and actually that business can continue. And the only way around that, using standard, I suppose, economics, is to pay people more. They don't want to do the job. They'll eventually want to do it. I'll go and pick fruit if you pay me enough.
Exactly.
Or compared to the other options that I've got. So I suppose what they're saying is now is if we don't have these people in because there's a certain wage cap, that we now still need to do these jobs that are lower paid. If no one wants to do them, we'll have to raise the wages.
And then no one want to buy the fruit if it's too high.
Well, it's already very expensive, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then,
we're going to go to more processed food, just like America. So basically, if you go to America, it's £5 for a bag of salad, $5, whatever, or it's $1 for a burger, and 50 cents for fries. I mean, it's so difficult to rationalise eating healthy.
Yeah,
and it's probably not going to affect from all kinds of industrial issues like that. Although they tend to bring in Mexican immigrants to do that. So I don't know.
Not any longer.
No, exactly. They're too busy.
Perhaps we'll build a wall around our sea border.
I actually watched something last night, slightly off topic, whereby it's kind of this trade deal with Mexico and the US, where Mexico sends them fast food and processed food, and then they will send them all their fruit.
So they sound about right. Well, I think Mexico has the highest level of obesity in the world as well, weirdly. So that would work for them. Yeah, it's amazing because they drink so much soft drinks. I think. Which is so hard. The cause of obesity. Yeah, exactly.
Want a refreshing drink?
Exactly. Yeah. Let's have 9 Cokes, which is the equivalent of 450. Kilograms of sugar or whatever it is.
So I suppose the question we're asking really is how's this going to play out for businesses that are in this point, and we're probably not in that issue really. We don't.
No.
Most of our salaries would be getting towards that.
Exactly.
At the lower end, or certainly well above it for most of our staff. So. It's not an issue for us, but for some companies, this could really have.
Maybe they'll change the law to have, child labour laws or something like that, or we'll just actually mobilise our younger generation into that.
That was the argument was there was 8.5 million people who are economically inactive who can take these roles. Unfortunately, when they did this, some of them were retired people, disabled people, sick people, students who were in education. And then the final one was kind of the very small percentage of people who didn't work, who could work. According to them, and they're only either going to be motivated 2 ways, aren't they? Either they're going to get paid more than they currently are because they'd be doing it if they were getting paid enough, they'd go and do those jobs. Or they're going to make it so uncomfortable for them not to be working that they have to choose to do those jobs. Even still, there's not enough of them anyway, because there's something like 800,000 to fill 5 million jobs or 2 million jobs or something. So
that's the fundamental error, is assuming that there is enough people.
The fundamental error is using ideology rather than pragmatism to create policy. But I mean, that seems to be a common theme of Western governments.
So is this in place now?
That's in place. As far as I know, that's in place now. It's certainly the proposal to be.
Will that be when we leave the EU at the end of?
It's not in place now, but it's proposed to be in place for the end of the year. I'm not sure whether there's got to be a vote yet. It's certainly the proposal that's on the table right now. And as far as I know, that's what's going to happen on the 1st of January 2021, when we actually leave and all the bad stuff starts happening.
Because when the planes start falling out of the sky.
Yeah.
But
well, they might refuse to land. We might be refused to land, but that's another issue.
Right. Oh, why is that?
Well, apparently now the new thing is they're trying to get around the agreement that they made about the Irish border, that they won't do custom checks on the Irish border, even though they've agreed to do custom checks. Or certainly, going into Northern Ireland, because there won't be an Irish border there. There'll be a border between Ireland and the mainland, Great Britain. But they don't want to do those now. But if they don't agree with that, then the whole thing collapses, and we don't know what's going on again.
It's going to be brinkmanship, isn't it?
So we'll soon see. Well, we won't soon see, but certainly by the end of the year, we'll finally get some more certainty, which is probably the biggest killer for businesses. All the uncertainty that we've had. But big question of this particular episode is, what do you think about low skilled versus low paid? Mm-hmm. Is it, can you equate the two?
Well, I don't think so.
And obviously, our view is that you can't equate the two. But what do you think? Drop your comments down below in the comments section.
Yeah.
And don't forget to subscribe by hitting the bell icon and give us a like.
Yeah, and if you want to see what the fruits of our labour are, then come to swiftcase.co.uk or check us out on all social media channels at SwiftCase UK, such as Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook even.
Yep. Thanks for listening to the SwiftCase Productivity Podcast, and we'll see you again next time.